It really got to me. And the reaction of their whole crew, mirrors have ruined actors.
I'm sorry to break the news, but nobody sings in real life.
I think it was when we shot the dance sequence in the club with Jennifer and I was very worried about that one. I was very worried, and the moment it actually happened and it came out and it looked great and everyone was so pleased, and it was just a spectacular feeling, something that was very different from everything I felt before. The way we shot here is a homage to the films of the 40s and 50s of musicals, and back then they shot films. It was almost like film theater, like the numbers would go from beginning to end, and it was very long shots. As a performer, are always opening up to the camera, very aware of the audience. It felt like a theater play, and the reaction of their whole crew, all the amazing performers around us, and Tonatiuh sitting there, it really got to me. It felt like the opening night of a theater play you've worked really hard on. The most challenging part for me, because I don't come from the musical world, I don't have the technique, I don't have the training, getting used to the mirrors. Dancers need mirrors to work. A dance studio always has a mirror, and they're looking at themselves and correcting everything that has to be corrected and fixing it. They're very aware of how everything is looking, and it's a tool for them. And for an actor, a mirror is the most dangerous thing. You would never put a mirror in front of you when you're acting. You have to forget about the way you look. It's not about that. It's about experiencing something and hoping that translates. A mirror can ruin your performance, Mirrors have ruined actors. There's actors that cannot even see themselves on the monitor because it makes you self-aware of what you're doing. So getting used to a mirror was very difficult for me. On this film, we had what we needed. We had all the tools we needed. It's a story that happens all in a cell. Therefore, we were stuck in a cell for weeks, not seeing the daylight, because we would come in at dark and leave at dark, and it was a very intense process. But we had the tools we needed. It's never about the resources. It's always about the story you're telling. It's always about the people around. And that's what makes things or journeys like very valuable, To do this film, you want to have the right partner. As an actor, you want to have a fantastic director that is clear about what he wants and that is generous through the process and that knows how to communicate. That's what really you value as an actor, And gladly I had that in this project and in Andor, and hopefully in the one I'm about to do now. For me, on this one, it was music. For both films, I talked about them as two different films. I did a film in New York I was playing a performer that is playing a character called Armando in a 50s film that's a musical. And for that, I always had music there, and it was important. And then I did another role, which is Valentín, who's a prisoner, a political prisoner in the early 80s, in Argentina. And that was a different role. But also music was always with me. I don't normally do that. But for these roles, I had very specific music that helped me trigger